Friday morning, mate.
Cheers.
We're back in the hot seat after a few weeks.
I know. It's been a good couple of weeks off though. Bit of downtime.
Bit of downtime for you anyway. Flying around the south side in a hospital van, also known as an ambulance.
A hospital van. A death car, a hearse. Yeah, I was in a hospital van. That's a new name for the hospital
Definitely
van.
a hospital van.
Yeah,
chasers.
it was good down the South Island, and then with some time in Sydney too. So it's been a bit stop start, but it's been good crack.
Definitely. Tell me, what was your highlight in South Island?
Oh Jesus! Probably coming home at 2 a.m. and cooking a chili con carne.
Nice.
Blocked in the
hospital.
hospital van. Yeah.
So what was the setup like? Because I'm thinking of getting one. Like, you told me 30 G's, right?
30 grand. Yeah.
30 grand for one of these things. So
Yep.
either way I look at it is, how much is a holiday costing every year, right? Say if I was to go down to South Island or over to Australia or something, right?
Right.
That's costing me at least 5 bricks. Minimum, like.
If you're going with the wife,
Yeah.
flights, accommodation for a week,
Yeah.
5 grand. Yeah.
Probably.
Probably.
So that's 6 holidays, right? So that's
Yeah.
6 years. So how long do you reckon you get out of the old big Mercedes?
This hospital van was a 2.7 litre Mercedes engine. So it wasn't like it was choking up hills and it was a torture. We flew around the South Island.
You know what you're never going to get? And I'm just thinking about this. What? Electric ones of those.
Why?
Just because they're never going to
Charging with someone in the back?
It'd be an absolute nuisance for everyone, wouldn't it? Like you're trying to go on holiday and you're charging it up every 90 minutes.
I know, but it was amazing. So, yeah, good friend lent us it for 10 days, and it was a good setup. It had sink and all in it, water pump. It was amazing.
So was it like was easy to sleep in? Like,
For a hospital van.
Yeah.
It was pretty
you're
unreal.
you're 6'9" or something, aren't you? Big lurch.
With heels on, yeah.
Yeah. So you're 6'3", right?
Yeah.
And could you swing your legs around?
There was about a millimetre at the bottom of my foot and a millimetre at my head. If I lay straight, like I was dead.
So
in the
there
coffin.
was no space at all, then.
But it was
Buried alive.
6'3" across. Nice.
Perfect
for me.
And what about young fella Ian, your friend?
He could roll about. He's only a wee one, 6 foot.
Midget.
He's tiny.
So right, so you travelled around. We're obviously coming in cooking a chili con carne was a favourite, but where out like
Wanaka.
if you're someone from the UK or something listening to
Yeah.
this, right? That's hardly a life highlight. You know what I mean? Coming in at 2 a.m.
it's definitely not.
doing a
It's actually a low moment for most people.
yeah. Most people, you
But
know,
I'm
in their
a bit-
20s, maybe want to hook up with people and all that sort of stuff. But
no,
you're
not me.
you're back at campsite.
I go home to cook chili.
Yeah,
and
100%.
invite the whole of Wanaka back too.
So
No
what-
one came though.
where was the highlight location wise? Like
Probably as a single location, I'd have to go Wanaka.
Wanaka.
Yeah, it's
Right.
amazing.
Describe
And
it to me.
And it's a bit.
Is it like
So everyone goes to
Is it like the
Queens-
point?
Nowhere's like Warren Point.
Right,
It's the
sorry,
goat.
sorry.
Right?
Okay.
Back up.
Yeah.
But it's like everyone goes to Queenstown obviously because it's awesome. It's amazing. But Wanaka, an hour and a bit away, bit more relaxed, chilled, just as gorgeous.
You're you know what you are? You're hipster.
What? No, not.
See who you are, 100%. See, you're like can't go mainstream. Have to go off the beaten track.
No, I've been to Queenstown. It's great, but Wanaka's just more chilled and relaxed. People there's less going on, less built up. You've only got 5 bars to choose from, and they're all good. Where in Queenstown you've got 40, and some of them are terrible.
Where's the worst bar in Queenstown?
We went to a pretty dive bar one time.
What's it called?
Don't know. I got a Bailey's in it because the beer was
Bailey's?
Yeah, in a plastic glass. See.
What?
And they had no ice.
Was it one of those like festival glasses?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
One of those like a hard plastic glass that you give to like
Or like one of those campfire glasses?
one of them. Yeah.
Oh,
a Bailey's
Jesus.
with no ice. It
And was it one?
wasn't cold like.
Right, that's a disgrace. No, so that's put you off Queenstown. It was nothing to do with location.
Nah,
right?
maybe that one. Yeah.
So anyone listening to this from, you know, further afield, Wanaka is what, like an hour away from Queenstown, isn't it?
Like that. Yeah.
It's an hour away and it's got a tree in the middle of the water, doesn't it?
Does, yeah.
Do you see it?
Yeah. Well, I've seen it twice. Yeah.
Well, what do you mean you've seen it twice? Would you walk past it once and then back in?
Blink.
Yeah. Or I've seen this 100 times today.
I've been here before. Well, I've been to before. I've been to Wanaka before, so I've seen it this time, but two different people, so I had to do a wee bit of a...
I seen it, but it was an absolute mood killer because the water was out.
Oh, really?
Huh?
I didn't know the water went out in the lake.
I don't know. I don't know what happened, like tsunami or something.
Someone with a hoover in it.
Yeah, so... yeah, good time, man. So back in the hot seat. I'm actually away to Ireland next week on Monday, and you're going to be looking after the place for a month. Like,
no.
You shaking yourself?
Oh, I'm certainly not looking forward to it. Like,
You'll be getting like really aggressive messages from me every couple of days. What's happened here?
And your wife probably. Is the dog alive?
Yeah, I know. So this is how weird this relationship is. That although we work together, but Potty is also going to be living in my gaff and looking after my dog when we're away. So that's the biggest job you have. It's nothing to do with the business. The business falls apart. I can cope. We can build it back up again. Yeah. It's the dog.
It is the dog.
It's
and I also forgot that you have a feline friend that brings other friends in, which is daunting.
He's a wee bit of
he's a rebel.
You know, he's wee ginger puss.
Yeah, kills everything.
Kills everything. So yeah, so with I'm away to Ireland. I can't wait actually. I'm
a bit jealous. Not that I'm homesick in any way, but just going home for a bit would be lovely.
Well, I mean, you have plenty of chances for it this year, but you've decided, you know what, I'm going to go travel around the south. I'm going to go to Canada. I'm going to go Singapore, Sydney,
Santiago.
Well, see, and you're like a globetrotter at the minute. Like,
I know.
Yeah, that's the good thing about recruitment.
Getting invited to our NZ's Christmas party.
That's 100%. So we're going to loosely talk about some topics today.
Yeah.
Right, and you don't look prepared. Like the way you're sitting up in your seat now. Like
I have a bad back.
Right, so. One of the topics we're going to discuss is why construction professionals want to work for a client site or developer over a contractor, right? So I'm actually recruiting for 2 developers at the moment, property developers, right? And they promote themselves so much more sexier. Like,
I know.
Like,
it's just easier.
Websites are what I would call sexy.
Kosher.
What? That's the opposite of sexy. Is kosher not some sort of like
proper
Jewish like
proper food?
I thought like kosher was just like is okay.
It's paka as a Cockney would say, pocker.
Right. I don't know what you're on about today. Yeah. So, but I find that they're far easier to sell to. So if I'm ringing like anyone really, to be honest with you, and I'm saying, oh, I've got a job here with a principal contractor or main contractor, they're usually like, not really that keen. Like,
it's definitely easier to sell, probably because it is more professional looking. The websites do look a bit more attractive and sexy, and they're probably getting less calls about these types of opportunities too. So it's a bit more unique. It's a bit more, oh, okay. If they've got 10 calls about a contractor, they might get 1 or 2 about a role with a developer or a client side. So it's a bit more like, oh, interested. Yeah. You know, at least want to hear you out.
Yeah. I think you're probably right. Like, because how many messages do you reckon like a CA would get a week?
They're bound to be getting 5 or 6 different people at least contacting them a week.
Sure.
Maybe 10 messages.
10?
Maybe 10 messages a week.
Do you reckon 10? Like,
well, how much do you send alone?
I don't actually send that many. You know why? Because I'm the boss.
I did.
Yeah. Go. Someone else did that for me. But no, how good your subject line have to be? Look, you have to have a belter.
Well, we can talk about subject lines and how mental some of yours have been recently.
What do you mean?
You've had a couple of mad ones recently. So the best one was doing a bit of business in Sydney, which has been going good. But Mick decided as a catchy introduction to some sexy cost managers that he would have
it was clients,
whatever it was, that he would have the subject line, what's your favourite packet of crisps?
Right, but I didn't realise, right?
What?
No one calls them crisps here. They're chips. So everyone must have been looking at me going, what an absolute dick.
Yeah. That's what it was, because you called it crisps, not what's your favourite
I think I specced it out. I think it hit like 85 clients or something like that, not
Yeah.
one response.
No.
And then so I'm in this like recruiter group, right? So shout out Pete Watson and the recruiter bandwagon
Yeah.
off the drink brigade.
Yeah, it's great.
But someone in that group was like, me and my business partner have beat different BD strategies, blah, blah, blah. He goes with the mad, and his strike rate and response rate is unreal.
Yeah.
And I was like, what he got to lose? Right? And literally not one response.
No.
Like you literally
Not a single one.
it's kind of like approaching a girl in the middle of a bar and she doesn't even say anything, she just turns her back.
Yeah, that's it.
To actually get
Or she sighs.
I'm having a great memory here.
Great or bad one?
No, a fantastic memory. Right. Do you remember the time we were in the pineapple bar?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? And we were having the crack, right? And so let me just describe this setting, right? Pineapple bar is this wee eclectic bar, right, in this beautiful little suburb of Vulcan, right?
Jazz piano on.
There was
dimly lit.
a Slovakian piano player, right? I know he's like escaped the wars and all.
Yeah.
In
He had
East.
some story.
Yeah, he had some mad
Serbian.
story.
He was
Yeah.
Serbian.
Serbian, had like 4 fingers and he was playing.
Yeah.
I want to see him on the piano. Unbelievable,
Unreal.
right?
He was smoking rollies.
Fair play to him as well on the piano. So we were having good crack, sitting on the bar stool, right? And then there was this like I can't even remember, but there was 2 girls there, weren't there?
Yeah.
And I think I kind of was talking to one of them or something like that. And then you walked up to the other one and she didn't even reject you. She just spun on her heels and looked the other way.
She turned around.
Yeah.
She backed me.
She definitely.
I went from seeing her face to seeing her back of her hair.
It was, and you were just like,
It was worse than getting slapped.
it was worse. You'd rather just get a flat out.
I think I just said, hello, where are you from? And just went, nah.
Right, you know what? They were Russian or something like that.
There were some Eastern Europe, yeah.
See, that's what I love about Eastern Europe.
We should have hired her.
Definitely.
Just ruthless.
I know, but then again, how do you go about that? How do you go about hiring someone who's just rejected one of your advancements? Like what you done there? Here's a contract.
Any pens?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you know what I mean?
But it was. I mean, I don't even think I went to her with with like an approach or like an in. I think I just said hello, and she just went no.
And no.
And then I just
I like that. Do you know what I mean? Just when
I didn't.
So I like that certainty. There's no she
certainly bruised my ego.
I reckon she has fuck all stuff in her gaff.
Minimalist.
Guaranteed.
Lamp on the floor.
1 knife. Big chopping knife for everything. Do you know what I mean?
Red wine out of a mug.
Well, I don't think she was a mug lady. Like,
No.
she was probably tea in a wine glass type of girl. You know what I mean? So, back to why do people talk about what want to work for a developer?
Yeah.
You know why? I think you get these guys and girls who are in uni, right? And they come out, they go for uni thinking, I'm gonna be a builder.
Yeah.
I'm gonna build high-rise apartments, right? And then they end up starting working as a CA or QS or PM. They go, this is shit.
Yeah.
I'm actually building frigging fuel stations
Yeah.
out in the middle of
Or I'm causing
Pinkenba or something like that.
windows and doors on a big building or something.
Yeah, and it's literally like, this is so depressing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there's these 30-something lads who are literally buying land and building these insane houses on them.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, that's what I want to do.
I know. Well, I think though, whenever you talk about construction, naturally all you're gravitating towards is builders.
Builder.
They build it, but all that stuff before, no one really speaks about, or you're a wee bit in the dark about. So
talking about pre-construction.
yeah, I'm talking about developers and how it actually gets to construction stage. First of all, that's not really spoke of, So that's why I think there's a bit more of an attraction piece when it comes to a developer or a client side position or a consultancy role versus another contractor.
One thing that grinds my gears though is when people think that they're just going to walk in like the development manager role.
Yeah.
You're like, I had a QS, right? He from different country, somewhere in the world, director level, and he's like, I'm planning for this job, right? I want to be a director in Australia, and you're like, sorry, mate, no chance. That's never happening. You are dropping two or three
Levels.
job and level positions to actually get like into the Australian market. And then he's like, oh, well, if that's the case, then I'll just become a development manager. And you're like,
Still?
on what world? Like, no, sorry, mate. Yeah, so do you know what I mean? Like, that arrogance kills me. I don't know, is it just because they're senior or whatever it is?
But do you think there's a level of arrogance from like senior managers, whatever, from contractors coming to a client side thinking, I'm Billy Big Balls, I'm going to come in here and I should be in this position, and realistically they've only got experience in one part of construction, for example.
So you're talking about like a project director or something like that?
Oh yeah, like, or a senior PM or something like that that's thinking,
I think if you're a senior PM or project director, you have far more chance of going into like a development manager role.
Yeah.
Because if you're like a PD, right? You're interfacing with the entire client, right? The whole project's on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Right? So if you fuck it up or don't, you know, it's on you, right? But they'll be involved in the early stages of the project, so they might not be going out and acquiring land as such, but they'll be going through that design phase. You know, a good project director will want to be involved in all of that stuff or early setup.
Yeah,
you know, so I find them to be more. So if you were a project director, say for a residential business, right? You're more than likely going to go in and become a development manager for another residential business, right? But if you're like a senior QS and you're like, oh, I'm a senior QS, I'm going to go and become a development manager, like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
Because realistically speaking, most of the time, all that you're really focusing on is the commercial side of it.
Yeah.
Now, you might get a client that goes, we want a commercially driven development manager.
Yeah, of course.
And then that's maybe where you would go, right, I'm going to go and get a senior QS who's maybe working for like a big residential firm or a high-rise residential company or something like that. That's different.
Yeah.
Than someone coming in, you know, who's doing a senior QS on friggin' retail stores.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean?
But have you not noticed over the last couple of years that there's obviously been more of an attraction to the developer side or to the client side because of what's happened in the world in the last couple of years?
Because of the war in Ukraine. Everyone loves putting it on that. because of Putin.
It's his fault.
I nearly called him Stalin there.
What a throwback. Let's delve deeper into how Stalin's affected the construction sector.
Well,
let's go.
He has. It's all started from him. But
what I'm saying is, you know, obviously we know a massive thing in the construction industry is where risk is shared and where risk is passed, but also from an employee standpoint, it's probably less risky as well. Less volatile versus a contractor.
Well, I got an offer last night for a girl working with a contractor. My main sell to her is, I mean, I don't even need to sell it. Like, I literally don't sell. You don't even sell these things, right? But my main sell to her is that there's complete job security from the respect of they're not looking for more projects.
Yeah.
Because they've already got, you know, I mean, they've already got their pipeline.
Yeah. But they decide almost.
Yeah, but so like it's not like, oh, we need a bunch of estimators in here to help win us more jobs. Mm-hmm. You know, and those jobs might be short turnarounds and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's the only thing that I'm thinking is there's definitely less risk, but the sale I truly believe is that most of these people, especially if they're like mid to late 20s or early 30s, they think that they're going on to become like their own business owner. They want to do this themselves.
When they're a developer, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the main sell. Because if they're going into a land lease, I mean, what are they doing in there? Like,
yeah,
they're fucking around chasing guys who are looking after, you know, they're maybe looking after a package of pavements or windows or, you know, facade or something like that. But that's not exposing you to construction.
No.
Like, realistically, if someone showed me how to do that, I reckon I could do it.
Probably.
Well, like, I mean, that's
genius,
such
though.
arrogance. That's recruitment arrogance.
You
there,
are a
like, isn't it?
genius, though, man.
I know, like,
you could do anything you put your mind to.
I could do that, no problem.
Yeah.
Give up package mail, manage it.
Yeah.
I'll actually make you money on that.
This is what I deal with, by the way, Monday to Friday. I could do that. I'll do that.
Well, I do,
Okay.
but I do.
Okay.
I'm doing a half marathon here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, in prep for an Ironman in 10 years.
Yeah. You could probably do an ultra marathon 9 next month.
What is ultra, right? I'm sick of this.
What do you mean?
I'm Googling this here. What is an
surely
ultra
there's a definition around what an ultra marathon is. It's not just someone going, keep going. There's a distance, like.
Oh, fuck. 195 Ks.
We should do an ultra podcast.
Here, is there...
Guy just keeps rolling constantly.
Was there not like a world record for the longest podcast?
Really? Like a filibuster podcast?
So tell me, I only heard about this filibuster a few years ago.
What?
No.
You don't know what filibuster is?
So isn't it's someone who goes up and talks
So
for
it's like
ages? And
if
then like,
someone wants to maybe bring in a new legislation or a new act in Parliament, for example, someone can just decide to oppose it by continuing to talk in Parliament. So the longest one's like something like 23 and a half hours someone stood up just to oppose the new legislation or whatever.
right? So, but like, what is the
Pretty
point in that?
cool. What a legend.
But like, who writes these laws? Like, you can talk for 21. What a waste of time.
I know. It's amazing though, isn't it? He just stood up and talked until it gets thrown out.
But was he called Philly?
No, I don't think so. He's
Where'd that
not
come
named
from?
after a cheesesteak.
Why not?
Philly Buster cheesesteak.
I'm just looking here, right? An ultra marathon, also called distance or ultra running, is any foot race longer than the traditional marathon. So that's great.
24 and a half miles.
So
Oh, what is it, 26?
yeah, but we do kilometers out here, mate. Get with it, right?
40.
So 50 kilometers is an ultra marathon. See these, but I've joined a few running groups, right?
Yeah.
And there's loads of these ultra marathon like badge holders.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like they're feel like 50k is not that much, like.
No, it's not an ultra. That's 10% more.
Yeah, I know. What about your man who done the marathon, London Marathon there on the weekend in like an hour and 90 minutes or something?
Well, I don't know
No,
about
obviously
that.
an hour and 90
But
would be 2.5 hours.
what about the girl who got in the car
Oh, I heard
and
about that.
cheated?
Yeah, she drove up the
She
road.
drove half of it and then she broke some record. She was like, "You were in a car." She was like, "Yeah, I was, sorry." Imagine.
That wasn't London Marathon.
No, it wasn't. It was some Scottish bird who decided to do an ultra run or whatever, and she'd done 10k of it in the car.
See, what is the point? Not like
I know, but
no,
also,
that's like saying you do the whole archery shit and just sticking them in there in the middle. Do you know what I mean? See, like, what's the point in that?
mental.
So,
What? Can't believe she done that.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know how we got on that, but if you're, say, in your 20s or something, less risk is massive.
Yeah.
They're thinking about how we're like. Where is stable probably now is a big thing. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So that's a big part of it. Plus
Yeah.
what they're learning from a developer side and a builder side
Yeah.
is huge.
And well, it depends obviously on the size of the contractor and business that you're working for. But generally, if it's a main developer versus main contractor, there's less people work for that business too. So you probably get a bit more exposure. You're probably at the forefront of directors, even eyeline in the office. So they can see what you're doing, they can see the development, and that leads to, again, progression opportunities rather than being one of 300 project managers that's looking after a wee small package on a building project or a civil project. And
Yeah, you can see how it would be more attractive at the same time, couldn't you? Like,
yeah.
But what? So that's a developer. Why would people want to go client side? That's all your old geezers like, and then going client side.
Wanting to put the feet up, slippers on under the desk and all. Well, they tend to have a bit more influence, and they can be involved right from the start, from feasibility, even pricing stages. From first email sent right through to handover. So people like that sort of all-encompassing position where it's not just, okay, I'm getting involved now in the building. So there's a bit more influence. They can maybe have a say on a procurement strategy, for example. So how are we selecting, how are we awarding this? Is it based purely on previous performance? You know, are we engaged in an ECI phase? Are we going purely on best price? So that some people tend to like that, especially in the later stages where they've been around the block, they know how things are done, they see what's bad, what's good, and they actually some of them genuinely want to change it, want to have a bit of a difference. So that tends to be, and it actually can suit someone in the latter stages of their career a bit better because they're a bit more in the know and know the market, know the industry.
Yeah, I think for say if you're like a senior person in the industry, it is more of a sale because you're not just working on one project. You know, you're maybe offering your like a value and advisory capability across multiple projects. You're then sort of like passing on what you know to maybe the younger PMs, or you know, offering, you know, strategic advice to the client or something like that, rather than going purely, you know, now we're not agreeing that variation, you know, like as a contractor, you know, like you've like realistically speaking, I would assume unless you're building really interesting projects, but say if you're doing high-rise resi or building schools or something like that, once you've done one, you've done them all.
Yeah.
Haven't you? Like,
yeah,
you know, if you're building schools, you're going right one next.
Yeah,
it's the same sort of thing. So you're maybe not developing as quickly as what you might do if you're working on, say, like an amphitheater or something like that.
Yeah,
like, I seen RLB put up something there yesterday. It looked insane. It was the Guggenheim Museum in like Saudi Arabia or something like that. It looks unreal. It looks like it's like tins of Coke. That's how it looks like. It looks like upside down tins of Coke stuck together. That's what. Have you seen the Guggenheim Museum in where is it, in Spain somewhere? It's
no.
Have you not?
No. Are they doing 2.0 in Saudi of the Guggenheim?
Hold on. Let me see. So there's a Guggenheim Museum in New York, right?
Right.
And who's the architect on it? I think it's Frank Lloyd Wright designed Guggenheim Museum.
Big Frank.
So see when I applied to do architecture, I used one of his quotes, you know, in your UCAS form. Remember UCAS? And it was
I was a slacker, I would have thrown that.
It was like Frank Lloyd Wright once said, right? And then it was like, and then it was like, and then it all became about my life. You know, you had to write a personal profile.
Oh, right, yeah.
Remember that? But the Guggenheim Museum is in New York, but then there's other ones as well.
So was there just been someone?
There's one in Bilbao, right? Look at that one in Bilbao. It's insane.
So what's the significance of the Guggenheim word or name? Is it named after someone? We should petition to get one in Auckland or in Brisbane.
Imagine
Sydney.
how long it would take them to do it here. You'll be building it in 20 years' time.
You could probably build it though if you put your mind to it.
Probably. Like, but look how cool that thing is, right? But then there's another one like that. Look, if obviously we haven't got the technology built in yet, but Guggenheim Museum Bilbao is like one of the most stunning buildings that you'll ever see in the world.
That's
like,
insane.
It's
Look
just
it up.
Stunning. But then there's another one going at the moment as well. It's
in Saudi.
I think it's Saudi or somewhere like that.
Saudi are doing everything better, aren't they?
They're going to be the new that's the new world destination.
Saudi.
100%.
Will we go?
No, I'm sick of you going on holidays. But you think of it like they're unlimited money, like.
I know. Well, they are trying their best to reverse the view that the whole world has by bringing all these sporting events and whatever else. A lot of work to do now, mind you.
Need to stop chopping heads before start.
Yeah, stop chopping hands, please. Then I'll maybe go.
I know.
But the golf and all, and the boxing, like, and they're building quite an attractive city.
Yeah,
metro.
Yeah. But it's in the middle of the world.
Yeah,
so literally, like, they've got some selling point.
Yeah.
I remember one of your old businesses, my MGM, my van. I remember I went and done a site visit for them, right?
Oh, Christ.
And what do you call the old fella who runs MGM? Bran.
Yeah.
He's intimidating.
Yeah, big Bran.
Big, right? He's scary. Like, I remember, you know, when you're like a 21, 22-year-old recruiter, like, and you're like, he's the center of the world, this guy. And he like looked at me and just moved on, didn't shake my hand or anything.
Like that girl at the bar.
Yeah, he completely blanked me, right?
Backheaded you.
100%, right? But I remember watching something on one of the websites and him saying that Nuri is the center of the world.
Oh my God.
I was like, no, that's a harder sell than Riyadh. Do you know what I mean? Nuri. If any, Nuri's got about 30,000 people or something.
And it's the center of the world. Where did he get that from?
Because it's so close to America and it's like so close to Europe.
It's not close to here, is it?
Well, that's true, but there's nothing close to here, though, is it?
But at least if you're in the Middle East, you're what?
Well, you are in the Middle
12 hours away.
It sort of says it in the name. Like.
You know what I mean? You're not Nuri. Is he serious?
There's not even an airport or anything.
The centre of Ireland. I think the centre. Oh, that's mental what he said.
But fair play to him. What a business he's built.
True.
So I feel like just sort of closing that off. Developers are in an amazing position right now where they can sell things. I think that they're going to be able to attract the top talent in the industry because they, branding wise, they can sell something that's totally different from main contracting.
Yeah.
Main contractors are always trying to win new projects. They really never know what's coming up next. They might know a little, we're one of two.
They're reliant on others.
They're reliant on clients deciding, right? Whereas developers, they're in control. And then if you're thinking of, I want the next top dog in the industry, someone who's 27, 28 at the minute, done a construction management degree, hungry as hell, right? They're probably wanting to go into a developer. They've maybe done 4 or 5 years with a main contractor, and they're going, right, I want to learn as much as I can, as quickly as I can.
Yeah.
By the time I'm 35, I'm going to start one of these myself. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, but the reality of it is, if you can get someone like that, perfect, because you're going to get 5, 6, 7 years out of them, and then they might start doing it themselves, or you might start building stuff with them.
Yeah.
But unbelievable opportunity right now for developers to attract the top talent. Like,